year, the Joe Shuster Hall of Fame committee inducted Edwin R. McCall, Ted McCall. I found out the R stands for read. That's as much trivia as I have for you. But we had no one to give the award to. But thanks to the power of the internet, this year we can correct that at last. And there's no doubt that Ted McCall was instrumental in the rise of the Canadian whites back in the golden age of Canadian comics during World War II. Many of you are aware that when wartime restrictions limited the cross-border flow of materials, including magazines, and most importantly of all, comic books, a number of companies in Canada rose up to fill that gap. And the first of these companies, and one of the longest lived, was a company spearheaded by Ted McCall. A lifelong journalist and newsman, Ted first entered comics in the 30s while working for Toronto's Evening Telegram newspaper. After reporting on the exploits of the RCMP for years, he decided that they were perfect fodder for a comic strip. And he used that intimate knowledge to create one of the first independent, Indigenous adventure strips in Canadian newspapers, Men of the Mountain, with artist Harry Hall. He also beat out that more famous Mountie of the comic strip world, King of the Mountain, by 2 years. McCall followed that with a strip based on Robin Hood called Robin Hood and Company, with Charles Snellgrove as artist. And when the paper restrictions began in World War II, Ted was one of the first to see opportunity. He convinced Synod News to create a new publishing arm called Anglo-American, also known as AA Comics. And he set up the company and first released reprints of the Robin Hood and Company strip. He added to that his Men of the Mountain strip. And then, while those were being published, he began to prepare new strips with Canadian artists, with characters such as Pat the Air Cadet, Super Duper, Deadline Dick, Don Shield, Dr. Destiny, Purple Rider, Red Rover, Commander Steel, Terry Kane, the Crusaders, and his most famous creation, Freelance, a heroic freedom fighter for the Allies. Anglo rounded out their line by purchasing the scripts used in the US-based Fawcett Company's Captain Marvel comics and redrawing them with their Canadian artists. But even at their height, Freelance had sold them all. And it's easy to see why, looking at the comics. McCall drew on a wide tradition of adventure fiction and his journalist's eye for world events to make Freelance feel like his tales of worldwide espionage were ripped from the day's headlines. And in fact, many of them were. Lance globetrotted to every theater of the war. He was all over it. Anything you would read in the paper, Lance was there at some point or another. It didn't hurt that while most comic book heroes' tales came in spurts of 6 to 10 pages, and often were continued next issue, Freelance adventures took the entire book, were paced like a bullet, and always concluded by the back cover. You got a full reading experience for your dime when you were reading Ted McCall. Anglo's top artist, Ed Furness, co-creator of Freelance, attributed every iota of Freelance's and AA's success to the writing of Ted McCall. And his well-deserved Hall of Fame award has finally come. Accepting the award for Ted is his great-nephew, Russ McCall.
Thank you very much, Rob. I really appreciate the fact that my great uncle Ted has been honored with the Joe Shuster Award. And like Rob said, the part of the internet was great because we just were, I was searching something in regards to wartime comics and came across awards and some postings about my uncle Ted. And it's really great to be able to bring this award back to the house. So thank you very much, everybody. Hope you enjoy the rest of the evening.